Hello, just a very quick intro for today's show. Now, the decision has been made. The Graduate Mastery Program, the program where if you're new to business, you've got a slow business or a small business, or you're part-time in your business, you're returning to work, then this is the clinical and business program that you need right now. We're doing it in July. Normally it's a year program or 6-month program. It's been in the past, depending what I'm doing. Well, this year I cannot do 6 months and I cannot do a year through to next year because I'm going away in October. It can only happen over a 3-month period. So it can only happen starting on the 6th, along with the coaching course, which you're about to hear all about. The two of them are going to be together. It is going to be incredible. You're going to see me one-to-one. There are 10 live lectures, live sessions with me, and we've got the Telegram group. So think about it. Don't delay. Go and check it out. The link is in the show notes. And now let's get on with the show and let me tell you all about what's coming up and help you with some top tips. Think about what is your hourly rate? What is your retention? How much are you earning? And what is it that's holding you back from creating that ongoing practice? It's wonderful developing relationships with your clients like I've just described. Absolutely love my ongoing patients or clients, whatever you want to call them. Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite-Sized Podcast. How the devil are you? So today I wanted to talk about coaching our client. And there's 2 reasons for this, because yes, we do have the course starting next year. And yes, it is on an end of financial year sale that you can actually use either side of the financial year. But also because I actually want to teach you some things about retaining your clients while we're talking today. So it's going to be a little bit of sales in here because I won't be able to help myself because it's what I'm talking about next week. But also there will be some learning nuggets in here for you as well. So don't just think, oh, she's just talking about what she's selling. I'm not going to listen. I'm going to go on to the next thing, because that's not it. What I want to talk to you about is getting our clients coming back. Now, this is a big part of our client retention map. Okay. Now, yes, in the course, I have a client retention kit, and I will be going through that because we've got 3 live sessions. And then, of course, there's the one-to-one. But for you today, what I want to be talking about is what is your client retention? And this is part of the intake for my course. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your retention. Let's talk about how many clients come back to see you, how long they come back to see you for, and what's your average earning for a client, and what does that mean? On July 6th at 5:30 p.m. my time, so that's South Australia, that's Adelaide, that we have our first session. It's a Thursday, early evening. I can't go too late. I start getting muddled. My words start getting jumbled and I can't remember things. So 5:30 is about as late as I can go. But I thought it's a great one to have after work, because if you're anything like I was a few years ago, you have an outside job, or a few years ago, you've got kids that you're running around. And yeah, 5:30 can be quite difficult because that's dinner time and getting dinner on the table. But at the same time, that's just prep, isn't it? That's just making sure you've prepped dinner. It's a crock pot meal that night so that when it's serving time, your partner, if you're the one who cooks, somebody else can serve, or you can serve and leave the room. It just means that you just have to be a little bit prepped in advance to be able to be there so that you can be at work in the day, if that's where you are, or you can play with the kids in the day, knowing that in the evening, someone else is cooking their dinner. Because prepping and organizing is, of course, also part of running our business and running our lives, isn't it? So let's just get that objection out of the way. Oh, I can't do a night. Yeah, you can. And it's all recorded anyway. But let's talk about this retention. So when we think about retaining our clients, how many times do they on average come back to see you? Now, the best way of doing this is to actually look back at last month. Okay, and it seems odd to look back at last month. You can look back at last week if you want to. But if you look back at the last quarter or the last month as a whole, then you'll be seeing where they return. Whereas if you look at this week, you might have had a new client, so you can't think about their retention because you don't know, are they going to come back in a fortnight yet or not? Whereas by looking back a month or 2 months, who's come back, we can actually see and start to see our retention. Depending how long you've been in business, you can really start looking back at how long people are coming back to see you, how often you're seeing them, and you can start going further and further back. You can look at a year ago, are clients still seeing you? What are the average number of clients that are still coming back to see you? I have quite a specific sort of cohort where I do discharge people because generally I don't necessarily want to see them again, or it isn't something I'm interested in. So I've kind of solved the immediate problem and then moved them to somebody else. Or I've got the people that I like seeing, the ones that are my ideal client, the ones that I know I can help and keep supporting in the longer term. And not necessarily all those things. I might, not think they're not really my type of person, but I know I can help this person. And so I'm going to keep them on and I'm going to keep seeing them and I'm going to keep looking after them and I'm going to get them coming back. And we have to work out what our retention is in physical terms, in structural, financial terms. So you can check out your booking calendar for those people. You can check out your financial statements, so your Stripe. You can look back at how much each person pays you over a period of time, over their lifetime of being with you. That gives you all those statistics. So I do prefer something like Stripe over some of the other money collection systems because of the analytics. So whatever you're using, you should make sure there are the analytics in there. So you can go back and go, oh, well, I've been seeing this person for 5 years and their overall payment to me over the 5 years has been $500, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it might be. And that's going to give you a snapshot of what all of your other clients are paying you as well and what the retention is like. That's something that's really important to look at overall so that we can kind of judge how much we have into our future, what our expected income is for next year. For example, if our average client comes back 8 times, then we currently have 8 on our books. So 8 eights. If we have clients only coming back 3 times, how much change have they really enacted in 3 appointments? 0 to none would be my suggestion. They have enacted that change for the week after seeing you each time. Whereas if we get them coming back a half dozen times, that half dozen times enacts change. The evidence, the research evidence on, for example, all weight loss systems, the research evidence is the longer you're on it, if you stay on it, that is how you lose the weight. It doesn't matter which one it is. It doesn't matter if it's Weight Watchers or some other system. Anything that goes on for a long period of time means you maintain the weight off. And it's the same with any coaching system. To change a habit, we have to keep doing the new thing, right? And it has to be over a long period of time. We can say we've given up coffee at about day 5 because the headaches have gone away. We feel lighter. We feel happier. We've got more energy because we've given up. Not everyone. Some of you are going, no, that's not me, Geraldine. I have to have my coffee. I love my coffee. And when I've given it up, headache was hell and I still had no energy. So I went back to the coffee. But when people who are drinking a lot of coffee, they're cold turkey it, they get the headaches. And then at the 5-day marker, they're like, hey, I've given up coffee. I don't need to go back. But then a fortnight later, they go out for a lovely luncheon and it's great. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Everyone has coffee and they go, oh yeah, what teas have you got? And they say, oh, we only have English breakfast or something ridiculous. And then they're like, oh, okay, but we do a great coffee. Okay, I'll have a coffee. I'll have a decaf. That's the way back, isn't it? I'll have a decaf. And then they have the coffee. And then they've changed that habit. They've gone back to their old ways. By seeing us, we get to support them through this change over a long period of time. But how can we do that? How can we get them coming back? What is the process to get these people to come back. Now, I don't have the time in a podcast to give you that process. That's why I have a course, so that we can get them coming back, we can implement that change, and we can improve their lives. This isn't about getting them to come back to line our pockets, okay? Our pockets are never lined. You guys have got HECS, you've got bills to pay. There's no such thing as lining a pocket in natural therapies, is there? The simple fact is we have to get them back to support their change to well health. How many clients have come to you eating kale on the first appointment? Half a dozen out of the 3 million that refuse to eat kale? I do pick kale a lot because kale can be tough. I find personally buckwheat tougher, especially pancakes. But anyway, we have to think about the change that it takes to get there. To get someone off sugar, it takes a few weeks to get off sugar, not just the 5 days like coffee. To get off cigarettes takes a month. That drag on the habit system in the brain, on the endorphins, drags people back. We need change. We need to support them. People who are giving up alcohol, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a long, slow process if they're doing Alcoholics Anonymous or grey area drinking coaching. These things take time. And what we do takes time, and that isn't taught to us when we train. And that's okay. The only way you can train is in the short semesters that you have. There's no other real way of doing it in clinic. So there can't be the training in college about getting your clients back. There can't be the training in college about supporting them in the longer term and how to do that. There's the thing of, they come back for the third appointment. What do I do? They're well. What do I do? Yes. That's where we change, and that's where we step it up, and that's where we start helping them in a different way to change, and that's where the coaching of our client comes in. Because trust me, there'll be something else happen down the road. So I've got one lady in particular in my mind who came to see me originally 15 years ago with hot sweats. So we got rid of the hot sweats pretty quickly, actually. They did come back because she stopped taking the herbs, and that's totally cool because that's normal, isn't it? We got rid of the hot sweats, and then she started telling me about struggles with her husband. So we developed more of a coaching and counselling relationship. It wasn't counselling. I'm not a counsellor, but I am now a hypnotherapist, and I've done coaching courses and I've done counselling courses so that I can counsel, and you have done them in college as well. And that's where our discussion, conversation, and support changed. And so we started supporting her mental health. We needed those ongoing support discussions as she went through the problems. Her daughter had issues. So we went through those problems as she was supporting her daughter. Now her daughter has finished university. Her daughter's in a job and her daughter is fine. But now she is well through that menopause. We had to in and out of the odd menopause, but we're now got this change of life going on with her, and she's much older and she has cardiac issues that we're now addressing. So do you see this client? I have never once just taken money off her. I'm not lining my pocket. She is growing older and developing problems, and she is still on my books. I have clients who brought me their babies, then I saw them as children, and now I'm seeing them as teenagers because those children grow and change. And the mother, in turn, she has gone from being that young mother to going through menopause. So these people I see, and that is a learning phase to understand how to get them to come back. And that's why I've created the client retention kit to go with conducting confident consultations, which I've also named, coaching for the one-to-one practitioner. I couldn't name it. So I just joined the two names up because I have done similar courses to this before. And so I've invited those people back who've done these similar courses. They're getting separate emails, and hopefully they're listening to this as well and thinking back, yeah, that was really useful. I gave a recommendation for other people to do that course as well, because I found that it really helped me in my business to get my clients to come back, to understand. Like Penny said, I loved this coaching course. I was really sad when it ended. I got so much out of it. Working with Geraldine in the small group and the one-to-one really changed how I work and what I prioritize in my practice. And that's the sort of thing. Margie, Geraldine's coaching one-to-one course was just what I needed while struggling to put together my consultation approach. The information delivered in the interactive course was relevant to my needs, and I feel a whole lot more confident about how I speak to clients, construct their plan, and retain them into the future. I know that Margie's traveling around Australia at the moment, and yet she is being contacted by her past clients. Now, has that got anything to do with the coaching course that she went on a few years back? Yes, there's parts of what she was learning with other courses, parts of what she was doing, but being able to structure it from this base has increased her ongoing income and what she's doing and her ability to travel and work. So what have you looked at in relation to how many times your clients come back to see you? How much do you make from your clients on an ongoing basis? So that means the appointment, that means product profit, because that's why we can keep one-to-one appointments lower in price, is because we have product profit from them as well. At least that's my reasoning anyway. When I do hypnosis with people, I'm not selling them any product, and it is more expensive. I'm sitting with them one-to-one for a longer period of time. I have to block out more time in my calendar in case they get upset or whatever it is. So think about, what is your hourly rate? What is your retention? How much are you earning? And what is it that's holding you back from creating that ongoing practice? It's wonderful developing relationships with your clients like I've just described. Absolutely love my ongoing patients or clients, whatever you want to call them. They make my day. I just saw one before I started this one, knocked on my door to collect some herbs. I've been seeing her. I met her after I'd done a herbal talk in a community centre. She was one of the clients that came to me straight after the talk, and she is still coming to see me, still collecting herbs, still taking her herbs. So all of our clients are different and they all have different needs, but we have to coach them to wellness. We have to support the change in their lives that they're going through. We can't just tell them what to do. They won't come back if we're just telling them to do things. It's not how it works. And there's no way you got this training in college. You can't get this training in college. They don't have time to teach you this and do all the other things, and you learn all the other things that you have to learn. Some people are naturals at getting their clients to come back. If you're a natural at getting your clients to come back and you look up your statistics and all of them are coming back and they've all been coming back for more than a year, then you do not need this. Make sure that you check it out. The link is in the show notes. And of course, it is on sale, my end of financial year sale. Never done one of these before because my mate Sam said, "Oh, should I pay for something before or after? Do I put it against this year's tax or next year?" So I thought, hey, shouldn't be the end of financial year on the 30th. It should be the end of the financial year a couple of days before we start the course. So you've got time to do a bit of homework and figure out and help me figure out where you are to help you even more. So I really hope that you at least check it out. And if you don't check it out, at least take some of what I've said today and go and have a look at your calendars and at your finances and see what your retention is like. So have a good one. Don't forget to rate and review if you've made it all the way to the end. And I look forward to seeing you on the next show. See you soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.